January 7, 2016. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger, promptly posted on the Municipal Public Bulletin Board, and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk, informing the public of the time and place according to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mayor.
Just so everybody knows, we will have two of our legal people here later on. We're going to have to go into an executive session, so we'll continue on with the regular meeting at first. Mr. Goriello.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. The sidewalk project is still going on. There's a number of cleanup items that have to be completed before that job is done and paid for. DOT projects, as you know, nothing's happened in the last, I guess, 3 months. It looks to me like we're running out of time for this year. I don't hear anything coming out of Trenton. It sounds like we're going to be getting a DOT project money this year. Even if we did at this point in time, the contract we have is with someone who has, I'm sure, a number of other contracts to do. So you're going to be trying to get 3 or 4 months worth of work done in what, 6 weeks now. So it looks like that project is going to hold over until the spring. Hopefully, in the spring we'll be able to do it. The Center Street project started last Wednesday. We've got pretty much all the curb and concrete work done, curb and sidewalk. And it looks like we'll be milling and paving that within the next 2 weeks. So probably around the 15th of October we'll be finished.
Thank you. Any comments for Mr.
I had one thing. I had a few people calling me up about the quality of the work being done on the sidewalks. He said that, well, a few of them said that it appears that the separations on the actual cement themselves that are just for cosmetic are supposed to be a reinforcement joist. Do you know what they're talking about? I mean, I had about 4 people calling me up questioning the quality.
Well, there's not always a expansion joint put in the concrete. Depends on the length of the work to be done. In a 4-foot length, you wouldn't put it in necessarily. But if they're doing 20 or 30 or 40 feet, there are expansion joints in the work that's done at that time.
Okay, because on the one place they said that basically he actually paid to have the driveway apron done, and then what was happening, the soil erosion from the tree that was pushing up the apron, now the new thing is sinking. So.
Give me the address.
I'll give it to you after the meeting.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Don, actually I have a question. Some of the areas, in particular Spruce and Center, where we used to have handicap ramps that went
Yes.
down, why did we take some of those out?
The third place you put it, you have to have a crosswalk.
Okay. But there was one there before that used to cross Center, going from one side of Spruce to the other.
Well, there's a crosswalk across all the side streets, and there's a crosswalk usually on the northerly side of every intersection. Some had it, some didn't. But with the new standards, sometimes it gets very difficult to fit it in between the telephone poles and inlets and things like that. It ends up being pushed down the street. So, we've only done 2 intersections, Locust and, Spruce, Myrtle and Spruce. And in those 2 intersections, we have only 1 crosswalk on the northerly side.
Right, but then why did we have one on the south side and now it's gone? That was the question I had.
Well, as I say, every place you put a crosswalk, people have to stop when the traffic is moving. So, for people crossing over. So, if you're going toward the center of town, you have the option, you can cross on either side of the street, and on one side you have most of the intersections don't have a double crosswalk. Some of them do, most of them don't.
I can understand maybe on this one here, because on the other side there is this, there's a stormwater inlet, but there was one there before, so now someone has to walk onto Spruce to come around and then cross over to Center, and then the same thing on the other side.
Right.
So the standard is not to put them on the south end.
Well, that's just the way we designed it.
All right. Okay. Now I have 2 items. Water companies on Myrtle Avenue.
Yes.
And they said they're still flushing the line. What does that do?
I'm sorry, when?
Flushing the line?
Yes.
Are they still doing that process, and what does that indicate?
I think they had a problem with crossing the culvert down at the Westfield boundary line. Okay. And until I think they make the permanent hookup, that's probably why they're still flushing.
And also, too, on Locust, they're doing water and gas. I hope that they don't all of a sudden decide to do Myrtle gas, and then we have to open up the street again after it's been paved. You know what I'm trying to say? We're trying to coordinate effort there, if there's any.
I did speak to them about Myrtle. They don't plan to do any gas main on Myrtle Avenue. They don't always notify me, they notify the Public Works Department, so, you know, I kind of caught Locust Street on a whim.
Well, don't we basically have a moratorium that they don't come and touch the road after so many years?
That's correct, they
Okay.
can't, they can't touch certain roads, that's correct.
All right. Anything else? Mr. Gurriello? Hearing none. Mr. Renard?
Thank you, Mayor. We have the ordinance about special law enforcement officers and dispatchers on for introduction tonight. That's all I have to report on.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Ariana, any? Thank you. Okay, any unfinished business for the council this evening? Any new business? Moving on, comments or matters for discussion from members of council. Councilwoman Kukrow.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one quick thing. I had a phone call last week about someone that was looking to get their fire hydrant redone. They said it was a disaster. He said he was told last year that the fire department takes care of it. I learned something new every day. It's not. It's the water company. So I did direct him to the water company. So if anybody has a problem with fire hydrants, you can just call up the water company instead of the fire department, and they will put you on a waiting list of which they have no idea when it will be taken care of. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on?
You know, I'm just curious, what streets, you know, what street are they?
This one was on time.
Okay, yeah, because we had the moratorium on Pine, and they weren't gonna rip up the street just to replace the fire hydrant, so last year we didn't do it. But yes, it is yes, it is the water company that does go around and, you know, it does change them out, but there was a moratorium on that road.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was like something I learned that day. But I also, somebody told me also that the Girl Scouts or somebody painted all the fire hydrants for the bicentennial. So I said the owner's willing to paint it, as long as it's nothing funky or obscene. He said, no, you can't do it. You can't do it. So, you know, you learn something new every day.
Very good, thank you. Councilman Martin? Thank you. Councilman Matthew?
Okay, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Sarno?
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I want to talk about is I want to get a better representation with our planning board. I want to investigate having the council actually go ahead and vote on members of the planning board. I feel that there's an unfair representation right now. I feel that the mayor having every appointee for our planning board is not the best way to go, and I would recommend that we put it into committee to look into writing up an ordinance or changing what we have in our books to show at least some of the members of the planning board be appointed and some be voted upon by council.
Okay, thank you.
Just a, I'll wait till it's my turn. Give me a minute.
That's all. And one thing for Bob.
Okay.
We received a letter from, I guess it was the city of Elizabeth, and they're including us as a plaintiff, or a defendant rather. You wanted to explain exactly what that entails and why they're doing that, and including Garwood as a defendant in a tax court case? Okay.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Actually, I was going to discuss that, well, not tonight, but we can talk about it tonight. The first part I can't answer, which is why did they do it, but I can tell you what they're doing, which is the city of Elizabeth, among other municipalities, has been directed by the state and by the county planning board to conduct revaluations. Elizabeth is resisting the order to revalue and has also filed, I guess, I believe a counterclaim and a cross-claim, which includes all the municipalities in Union County, stating that if Elizabeth has to revalue, then everybody should have to revalue. So that's what the case is about. We could, because we've been named as a party in that action, and if you want to discuss it at length, we probably should discuss it in executive session. But I can tell you generally that if we wanted to, we would have the right to join in that lawsuit and oppose it. I wouldn't recommend, frankly, that you waste the money to do that, because I think that whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Sooner or later, candidly, all of the towns are going to get ordered to revalue, whether it's this year, whether the order comes out this year, next year, 4 years from now, or 5 years from now. So at some point in time, it's going to happen. It's probably going to happen in the, I don't want to say the near future, but in the not too distant future anyway. And I don't see the point, frankly, in the borough wasting its money joining in this lawsuit and trying to litigate and persuade one way or the other, because frankly, I think either a judge is going to order it or not, regardless of whether we participate.
Thanks for shedding light on that for all of us. That's all I have.
And not to cut your statement short, I will be looking into that committee situation for the planning board. Okay. As I mentioned before, we're going to go into executive session. We have 2 of our consultants here on different issues. So, Ms. Ariano, would you please read?
Yes, Resolution 15270.1. Closed session resolution authorizing an executive session for the purpose of discussing contract negotiations between the Borough of Berwick and King's Local 11 and the redevelopment of South Avenue and matters of attorney-client privilege relating to the above in accordance with NJSA 10-4-12, closed session, meeting open to the public, exclusion of public, subject of matter. Whereas it is necessary for the mayor and council of the Borough of Berwick to conduct an executive session closed to the public in order to discuss the above listed matters. Now therefore be it resolved that the council of the Borough of Berwick moves to go into executive session in accordance with the provision of the Open Public Meeting Act for the purpose of discussing the subjects stated above, and be it further resolved that the matters discussed in the minutes of this closed session shall be disclosed to the public when the reasonable confidentiality no longer exists.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Roll call. Okay. That being said, we'd like to start with the labor attorney, please. We'll be meeting in the back, council.